All right, guys, how's it going? Well, Pedro the Parrot has started squawking again, so we're going to take a look at what he's got to say. Now, this is a journalist in Portugal, in Lisbon, called Pedro Sepulveda. I call him Pedro the Parrot because, you can't shut him up. Do you know what I mean? And what I want you to bear in mind here is this is a Portuguese journalist in Portugal that would usually be reporting on clubs like Sporting, right? So Ruben Amorim is the big talking point at the moment. You think he'd want to be addressing those fans primarily, but he seems to have turned his focus to Liverpool fans. Now, you might argue that that's to help raise his profile, because there's a lot of Liverpool fans around the world that'll be retweeting and following and stuff like that, right? More than, maybe Sporting fans in Portugal, do you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, his focus seems to be on Liverpool fans at the moment, and fair play to him. Ben Jacobs, a journalist, when Liverpool Football Club was looking for investment, you remember the last time Ben Jacobs had an opinion about everything to do with Liverpool Football Club. He would issue, an exclusive, and 3 days later deny his own exclusive, and he got a lot of traction, a lot of interaction, a lot of engagement, and has, secured a lot of, working opportunities since then as a result of raising his profile. Supporters of other clubs said at the same time that's what he did with their clubs. Whether or not it's true or whatever, I don't know. I'm not bothered. But the reason that we mention these things is that Pedro the Parrot, if he is trying to raise his profile a little bit, then, as I said right at the very start, he's going to be putting out a lot of things that might just be a bit sensational, a little bit pointless. I do think that there is some communication there with Ruben Amorim's agent, but maybe for every 10 tweets, you're only going to get one little snippet that's worth paying attention to, because I think he's just wanting to mention Liverpool as often as possible. One example last week was, I think he told us that Ruben Amorim was the most searched name on Google in the UK or something. Today, he's saying Ruben Amorim's name is positively appreciated within the LFC dressing room. The players welcome the Liverpool's board main choice to replace Kloop, and he has put Kloop, not Klopp. All right, so I know English isn't his main language, but you think that he would get that right, or at least delete it and redo it. I just think it separates the, I was going to say for the boys from the men, but I don't think you're allowed to say that, are you, because then I'd have to say the girls from the women. And then people say what you're talking about girls for. And before you know it, you're cancelled. You've got to be careful what you're fucking saying today. Anyway, he's been community noted, which means that if you were to look at his, the post there, you can see here underneath, only visible to contributors. So I'm a community notes volunteer. I don't get involved with the football stuff, it's for other topics. And that basically, a community notes volunteer is people that, if they see something that's maybe not accurate on social media, on X, Twitter, I can raise a community note and say, this tweet isn't true. Here's a link to something else backing up what I'm claiming. And it just shows people, because there's a lot of fake news and shit like that on there, right? And it's just putting people right sometimes. Not everybody posts something to mislead people. People can retweet things and not know that they're retweeting bullshit. Community notes is pretty good, but it can be targeted as well, especially in politics. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, that's another thing. So you probably don't see that note unless you're a community notes volunteer. I see it. It says only visible to contributors, and it says underneath, Pedro Sepulveda has no connection to Liverpool Football Club and is farming for interactions by passing speculation as fact, as a raff of fact. He's I feel a little bit for him there with that he's getting community noted and everything, because at the end of the day, this is what journalists do. So it's up to us. We should be determining whether, if it's an outright lie, fine. Link us to something that says, that cannot be true. How can you? It's one man's word against someone else's. So I think he's a little bit harsh that he's been community noted. We'd be community noting every fucking journalist every time they say something. You just got to take what he says with a pinch of salt. He's trying to raise his profile, but if Ruben Amorim is appointed Liverpool manager, he'll be able to turn and say everything I said was fucking right. Do you know what I mean? Now, I want to. So you know what he's saying. How the fuck does he know what Liverpool players are thinking? Do you know what I mean? It's just, in my opinion, it is just trying to get exposure. Anyway, what I want to do is, very briefly, before I finish this video, touch on a comment here that was left on one of my videos earlier. David Ornstein, last night, I did a video today. I can't remember what it was titled. I'll tell you David Ornstein. What was it titled? Ruben Amorim latest new claims made. This was to do with an interview that David Ornstein gave overnight in the US. And I would watch that video because there's some key points in it that haven't been mentioned before. And there was a comment left on that video by one of my viewers, Lee Green. All right, Lee. And I just wanted to read it to you just to plant this into your mind a little bit. He said, I think this is to shut up Sporting Lisbon to suggest other managerial candidates, hoping to take the pressure off Sporting's running and not piss them off. Could be wrong. But I think Lee might have a point there. I think Lee might have a point. That video, for example, talking about Ruben Amorim's not a shoo-in to be the next Liverpool manager, and there's other candidates, and this, that, and the other. I genuinely think that this is part of the game. I think it's part of the game. I think Liverpool are just making out like, oh no, we're all right, thanks, we're looking at everyone. And they will look at people, obviously, right? But I think this is part of the game because we know, or we are led to believe, let's rephrase it like that Sporting have been a bit pissed with the Liverpool speculation recently. We saw this start to be mentioned in the Portuguese media. I don't know if it was last week, maybe a little bit longer than that actually. And then we saw a little change of, the Pedro de Parra retracted, do you remember, on some things. Ruben Amorim himself at the press conference, I'm not talking to Liverpool, I've not spoken to Liverpool, and doubled down on it again. All at the same time when there were suggestions that Sporting were becoming a little bit, I think it was something like annoyed at the noise. Basically the chatter, the bullshit surrounding it all. Because they've got a fucking title, race on there, like, you know what I mean? And they're not in a, they're not as strong as, say, Alonso was with Bayer Leverkusen. So, we've seen, since the suggestions that Sporting were a bit pissed, we've seen not negative claims, but things that might make you as a supporter think, oh, I don't like the sound of that. Ruben Amorim, he says the cycle isn't complete. He hasn't spoken to Liverpool, and there will be no talks with Liverpool. Oh, I don't like the sound of that. Now that journalist is saying them talks have not taken place. And now we've got David Ornstein saying that he's not a shoo-in for the job. Do you not think it's all coincidental that we've heard all those things all at the same time? We didn't hear people saying that Ruben Amorim wasn't a shoo-in for the job weeks and weeks ago. We just happened to hear it when Sporting are a bit pissed off. So I agree with that comment. I think that this is just part of the game. I really do. And I suspect we will see born-again Joyce appearing very soon. Last week, I said I think we might see something this week from Ornstein and Joyce. Do you know what I mean? In theory, we have seen something from Ornstein because he's commented overnight with some new bits and pieces that we've not really heard before. Maybe it was that. I don't think so. I think born-again Joyce is due an update, and I think it'll be to appease more than anything. Anything that he puts out, like, we pay attention to, rest assured the footballing world, fuck off Remy, the footballing world will be paying attention to as well. And if he puts something out along the lines of Liverpool are looking elsewhere or something, Sporting are going to see that, right? Don't underestimate, this is what they do at other clubs, guys, right? They'll be watching every fucking thing the local press say or the people that cover Liverpool Football Club, I can assure you. And who else gets to see that? Ruben Amorim gets to see it as well, and so does his agent. And then, there's a little warning in there, like, don't fuck around with us with the negotiations. We're Liverpool Football Club. Yeah, we've registered an interest in you. We like you, but we aren't fucking around. We're planning. So you've got an opportunity to come and manage one of the greatest clubs in the fucking world, right? So we've got to look for what comes out from Paul Joyce next, I think. I don't think it'll be Ornstein. And what I mean by that is in print. I don't mean in an interview, on US television in the middle of the night for Europe. I don't mean that. Look out for something. And I think it will be, it'll be calming. With the attempt to calm, but some Liverpool fans are probably still fucking panic. I'm as cool as a cucumber about it, guys. I really am. I don't see anyone challenging Ruben Amorim at the moment. However, if him and his agent fuck it up, then Liverpool will turn to someone else. They will turn to someone else. And as mentioned in those other videos that I've uploaded today, there are other candidates. There are. But I just my suspicions are that Liverpool have, realised that they're just trying to do the respectful thing regarding Sporting, and also regarding Jurgen Klopp. I nearly said Rafael Benitez for some reason. Also regarding Jurgen Klopp, I don't think it would be good to confirm a manager or anything while Jurgen's still in his position. What do you think? I think that's quite I don't know. Because then they'll be talking about press conferences and stuff like that. Have you ever had that thing? I mentioned it on the stream earlier today. Like when you were a kid or something and your mum or your dad got off the settee and you sat down in the seat. Did they ever turn around to you and go, would you jump in my grave as quick? I'm sure it's that saying. It's that the saying. Do you know what I mean? In other words, like, fucking hell, give me a chance. Yeah? And, let Jurgen vacate the managerial seat before we know what's happening, in my opinion. I do think that. I don't see what purpose it serves us as supporters as knowing who's going to be the manager of Liverpool Football Club. We've got to wait a few more weeks, right? So the 19th of May is when the Portuguese League finishes, I believe, and the Premier League, I think. My memory's shit, that. Then Sporting have got a cup final within a week after that date, I think, maybe the 24th or something. I think that once the Portuguese League is secured, you could imagine a manager saying, I am leaving, this will be my last cup final, because it's a good send-off, isn't it? I really want to win this, for the club. Or it might be just after. I don't know. We're just speculating. But I think we just, as much as we all want it, I think we just need to chill. And at the moment, the commentary from Liverpool Football Club is quite calm. All we're getting continually is, even when it was Alonso, when Alonso was the favourite, all we're getting continually is, but there's other candidates, that's all they're saying. That's all our journalists are saying. When I say our journalists, I'm not talking about Pedro the Parrot, I'm talking about Ornstein, Joyce. The rest of them, let's be honest, with the exception of Fabrizio Romano, Mo Salah, him, right? We like to see what he's got to say, right, Fabrizio? But the rest of them, underneath, like Ornstein and Joyce, they ain't got a fucking clue. They're not saying anything, are they? They're just a clique of journalists that all agree with each other. Ignore them. Stick with Ornstein and Joyce. And what I'm doing personally at the moment is I'm waiting for Joyce. Right? And we have to really examine his next update on this front. Now, it'll either be an update about nothing and a bit at the end about the managerial situation, or it'll be something really interesting. And I wouldn't be surprised if you got something that was a bit alarming and you went, I don't like the fucking sound of that. There's certainly a few twists going on that. Yeah, I kind of like it again today. Last few days, it was annoying me a bit. I was like, I'm sick of fucking talking about it. But it's got me thinking again now. You know what I mean? Anyway, Pedro the Parrot. We'll miss Pedro the Parrot, won't we? Not if Ruben Amorim's appointed, though, because we'll have him forever. You know that, don't you? He'll become the Liverpool FC fucking overseas correspondent for I'm going to get some Cop Talk t-shirts with a little parrot on the side. I'm not even joking. It's really going to happen. When Ruben Amorim is appointed manager of Liverpool Football Club, he's going to jizz his pants because... Dear me. He'll be on Airbnb and everything, won't he? Immediately, I'll be like, fuck this, I'm out of Portugal, man. I'm going to cover Liverpool FC now. He'll have his own YouTube channel, his own Substack mailing list and everything. He must be sat there. What must he be thinking? Think about it. If you're him, he must be sat there now thinking, right, I've got to be... Can you imagine it all when he's bird? Right, I've got to play this right, love. Well, maybe he's got a boyfriend. I've got to play this right, darling. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter who he's with. It's 2024. I'll try anything once. It doesn't matter. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So he's sat at home, and he's going, God, this is fucking... Do you know if Ruben gets that job, we're fucking laughing. We'll be out of this apartment, telling you. Yeah, but you report on sport, not any fucking more, I don't. Have you seen how many fans of Liverpool got around the world? They're fucking mental. They love news and that. Have you seen that big dunk? If he can do it, I can fucking do it. Do you know what I mean? Think about it though. It creates serious. I'm not even joking now. Well, I'm joking a little bit. You know what I mean? But he would be thinking that, wouldn't he? That's what's going through his head. Raise my profile. You watch his fucking life will be devoted to Liverpool Football Club. I'm telling you, he must be sat there now thinking, I'll be in a new car next year. I'll be in a brand new Seat. That's what he's thinking. Pedro the Parrot. Because then it'll be all transfer news. I'm telling you. We're never going to end of him, are we? Pedro the fucking Parrot. Oh my God. Pedro the Parrot. We are. It's going to be everything. In RCO to Liverpool. T-lady at Liverpool's told me she thinks it'd be good. She thinks it'd be a good idea. If you appreciate this video, please thumbs up. Please leave a comment. Pedro the Parrot Appreciation Society. Pedro the Parrot, PP, ASP, PPAS. Fan Club, PPAC. You know, I'm doing it. All right. Yeah, leave me a comment. If you want to buy me a beer or a coffee, hit the super thanks button. Please read the video description, join the mailing list. It's like a newsletter. There's no adverts or any selling or anything in there. Your email's safe. Read the video description. Connect with me on social media. You can follow me on X at Duncan Oldham and Instagram at Duncan Oldham. If you've got Facebook, you can add me as a friend, DUNKOLDHAM. And that's about it. I'm bored now. That's Remy just dropped his bone. Did you hear that? I'm going to go on the Xbox now and play some Call of Duty DMZ, I think. Have I got any messages? No. That's unusual. 16:07. Right then. Three cheers for Pedro the Parrot. Speaking a bit, guys. All right.